Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel. Novel, The Primordial Law. Volume 1, Nether Realm of the Dead. Chapter 24, The 12 Dispersed Techniques of the Chan Sect. 24th of Volume 1. Translator, Shadow Knight AK. Editor, Shadow Knight AK. After studying the Dao Ancestors Tai Chi fish for a long time, Li Wei concluded that it was the most crucial weapon to counter the White Bone Demon. He tried various methods to activate it. First, he used a few drops of his own blood, then the blood of the Golden Crow and the Black Dragon, but nothing happened. Injecting the scorching chi flow that emerged from the sole of his right foot was like casting a stone into the sea. To activate it, it must be related to my blood, and it seems to only work in moments of extreme danger. Could it be that when faced with life-threatening situations, my blood changes differently? Moreover, it seemed to require a vast amount of blood. The more blood he used, the stronger and more sustained the reaction. Everything was speculation and analysis. Li Wei gritted his teeth and decided to do something foolish. He slashed his wrist with his sword and soaked the Dao Ancestors Tai Chi fish in the blood. He let nearly half a bowl of blood flow out, but there was no reaction at all. Forget it, forget it. I'll try again when I'm in a life or death situation. Li Wei immediately channeled the scorching chi from the sole of his right foot to stop the bleeding and heal his wound, wrapping his wrist in bandages. Then, he picked up a cup of diluted Golden Crow blood from the table and drank it to replenish his blood and chi. He clasped his hands in the Zhiwu Tai Chi seal, and began practicing the Jade Void breathing method, circulating the scorching chi from his right foot sole through the 13 silver vein marks to refine the scorching secret energy contained within the Golden Crow blood. In recent days, he had been drinking Golden Crow blood daily, and his physical strength had increased significantly. Half an hour later, Li Wei stopped. My body doesn't seem to have changed much. Before, after drinking the Golden Crow blood, my whole body would heat up, and my heart rate and blood flow would accelerate considerably. Let's try another cup. A few days ago, after drinking his first cup of Golden Crow blood, Li Wei had lost his reverence for it. Because the scorching chi within his body could refine it, he didn't even need to wear the cross pendant. Kai Yutong had nearly been burned to death after drinking just one cup. Fortunately, the cross pendant triggered a dramatic transformation in her body, turning her into something akin to a fairy. Li Wei had already drunk 10 cups of Golden Crow blood, but he hadn't shown any signs of burning up or undergoing a metamorphosis. The only change was an increase in his physical strength. He didn't know whether to be frustrated or relieved. After drinking the 11th cup, he found the Golden Crow blood as thin as water, with no reaction from his body. My physical body must have reached another critical point. I need some kind of breakthrough to advance further. How could I break through? The diluted Golden Crow blood was too weak. What about the undiluted version? Could it provide the intense stimulation I need to break through? Is there any chance of breaking through this critical point using only external means? He decided to take the risk. He still had a chance to fight. He couldn't just wait for the White Bone Demon to come and finish him off, that would be certain death. Li Wei drank a cup of undiluted Golden Crow blood. As it entered his stomach, it grew increasingly scorching, as if he had swallowed molten lava. He immediately began practicing the Jade Void breathing method, channeling the searing energy from the sole of his right foot to refine the blood. His 13 silver vein marks couldn't fully process the Golden Crow blood. It felt as if the blood was trying to burn through his internal organs. Smoke billowed from his body, and his blood seemed to boil. His mouth felt like it could spew fire. It's not that bad. I can handle it. The spring at the sole of Li Wei's right foot surged with increasing intensity, fiercely battling the Golden Crow blood. Suddenly, whoosh! A bone-chilling cold air erupted from the spring at the sole of his left foot. Following this, the first silver vein emerged from the cold spring, tracing its way up his left leg and directly toward his burning, unbearable internal organs. The second silver vein was born. Then the third, the fourth. In no time, the number of meridian veins emerging from the sole of his left foot reached 13. When combined with the 13 meridian veins rooted in the sole of his right foot, the total number reached 26. The blood chi and destructive secret powers contained within the Golden Crow blood were instantly suppressed. The spring at his right foot burned hot, while the spring at his left foot froze cold. Two completely different types of chi currents were born. Li Wei's body underwent rapid temperature fluctuations. One moment, he was drenched in sweat, the next, his sweat droplets froze into ice beads. This is unbearable. He stopped practicing the Jade Void breathing method and rushed out of the cabin, frantically practicing the Chan Sect's the 12 dispersed techniques on the deck. Boom, boom, boom. Sometimes he formed palm strikes, other times he threw punches. His movements were lightning fast, his form ever-changing. Heaven-turning palm seal. He formed a palm seal, leaping a full 10 feet into the air before crashing down. The palm wind in front of his hand condensed into a solid form, resembling a massive seal that could overturn the heavens. His palm didn't directly strike the burial mound, but the earth beneath sank, creating a 3-foot square depression. It looked as if a 3-foot wide seal had been pressed down upon it. Tai Si splitting strike. The palm seal transformed into a palm sword. The palm wind shot out like an invisible sword, cleaving the air before it. Yellow dragon ascending the heaven. He moved as if transforming into a dragon, taking 5 consecutive steps in midair, as if ascending an invisible staircase. By the 5th step, he had already risen to a height of 26 to 30 feet. Li Wei had spent years practicing the 12 dispersed techniques on the mountain. He had always considered them a method of physical conditioning, never imagining they possessed such power. When facing Xie Tianshu and the others, he hadn't even needed to use these moves. Though called dispersed hands, Sancho, they weren't solely hand techniques. Instead, they combined fist and palm strikes, footwork, leg techniques, finger seals, claw marks, and more into a comprehensive martial art of 12 fundamental moves. This wasn't a fixed form. Each move was infinitely variable, entirely spontaneous. He didn't know how long he'd been practicing. When he finally stopped, his body's cold and heat balanced, he found himself surrounded by the expedition team, drawn by the sound of his training. Their expressions varied. Some were shocked, others awestruck, some admiring, others fanatical. Of course, some speculated that Li Wei had swallowed the Buddha's relic, but none dared to entertain such thoughts. Just from the power he displayed while practicing, they knew that if Li Wei ever got serious, a single punch could pierce their chests. Unaware of Li Wei's true condition, they assumed he was simply flexing his muscles to intimidate any potential troublemakers. Qin Kai stepped forward and wiped the sweat from Li Wei's forehead. Brother Wei, you seem even stronger now. Is it because you drank the Golden Crow blood? Yes. Li Wei didn't deny it. He had already planned to have everyone on the ship drink the Golden Crow blood to transform their bodies and increase their chances of survival in this unfamiliar world. Kai Yutong's physical transformation was impossible to conceal. As she explained, rather than hiding it and letting everyone speculate, creating distance and suspicion, it was better to be open and honest. Qin Kai, filled with anticipation and a touch of trepidation, asked, "Can I drink it too?" Of course. Li Wei added, "But we have to wait for the first mate to wake up first." 4 days ago, Zhao Meng's injuries worsened. Desperate, Li Wei had given him diluted Golden Crow blood and placed the cross pendant around his neck. But the Golden Crow blood's effects were too slow. Zhao Meng was on the verge of death. Li Wei then administered black dragon blood and placed the dragon-patterned ring on his finger. Since then, Zhao Meng had undergone dramatic changes every day. This morning, the fractures in his knee and shoulder, which had been carefully set, were completely healed. His body had grown to an astonishing height of nearly 3 meters. Fortunately, he hadn't suffered the grotesque, black dragon-like mutations that had afflicted Xie Tianshu. Only his arms and legs had developed a few black scales. His hair had turned a fiery red, like the feathers of a golden crow. After the spring on his left foot sole opened, Li Wei's combat power surged, finally giving him the confidence to confront the white bone demon again. Last time had been too humiliating. Li Wei wore a corpse cloth leather armor, a Dao ancestor's Tai Chi fish around his neck, silver silk boxing gloves on his hands, a 3-headed serpent bracelet on his wrist, and a sutra-wrapped belt around his waist. He carried the black iron seal and golden crow blood in his chest, holding the yellow dragon sword in one hand and a black spear in the other. He found the black spear too heavy and cumbersome, so he tossed it aside. Arriving near the white bone demon's tomb, he retrieved the golden crow blood and poured it onto the sutra-wrapped belt, activating it. Li Wei moved with blinding speed, a crimson phantom, charging up the tomb mound with his sword drawn. Standing at the top, beside the hole he had dug himself, he looked down. The ice coffin had long since melted. Inside, it was completely empty. In an instant, Li Wei's entire body went numb, his heart threatening to leap from his chest. Had the white bone demon already escaped? Immediately, he channeled the dual currents of cold and heat, pushing all his senses to their maximum. He scanned the surroundings, but found nothing. Even the bone wind chimes on the tombstone had vanished. Even while trapped in the coffin, unable to move, she was terrifying enough just using her hair. Now that she's free. Li Wei could only imagine how powerful the white bone demon would be now that she could move freely. Now that she's out, Dr. Chi's disappearance might very well be related to her. After examining the area around the burial mound, Li Wei found the footprints left by the white bone demon. He looked up into the swirling mist. The footprints led in the direction of the golden crow corpse. Since she attacked both Dr. Chi and me, she's bound to strike again. The reason we haven't seen another victim yet is likely because her body is still recovering, just like how she couldn't leave the burial mound before. We can't let her fully revive. If we do, I'll have no chance of fighting back. After a moment's thought, Li Wei decided that even if the white bone demon was terrifying, he still had a chance to fight. If he retreated today out of fear, he would only be at her mercy in the future. Following the footprints, Li Wei cautiously and carefully approached the golden crow corpse. There, by the pool of blood, he saw the figure in red. She sat cross-legged, golden light flowing around her. Her black hair floated in the air like long strands of silk, and a pair of fiery wings several meters long spread from her back. They resembled the golden crow fire wings that had appeared when Kai Yutong transformed into a fair, both equally brilliant and dazzling. Without hesitation, Li Wei accelerated to his maximum speed, closing to within 10 feet of her. He leapt into the air and slashed down with his sword. Whoosh! The sword strike was the Tai Si splitting strike from the Chan Sect's The 12 Dispersed Techniques. Channeling all his strength, the sword flashed with a yellow glow, cleaving through the air. Blank. End of chapter. Subscribe to the MTL World at Malworld 1 YouTube channel.